Getting 10 goals in 2 games was amazing. Gave us a lot of confidence on what we've been working on during the preseason and what we left off from last year. So it was obviously amazing to start the season like that. And the vibes and the training, it pushes us even more to keep competing with each other and trusting the process, which is what we're doing. So it was just a great start.
Ha sido titular en un plantel en donde se veía difícil, ¿no? Traen un jugador que puede jugar tu posición, pero tú en estos 3 partidos te has adueñado de ella. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Bien, o sea, cuando trajeron a Johan, yo sabía que ese iba a ser mi competencia y a pesar de competencia, más un compañero del equipo, lo cual es a lo que yo lo veo. Obviamente en el entrenamiento competimos y todos los días uno con el otro, pero a la final estamos en el mismo equipo, entonces lo que intento es aprender de él, porque viene de Colombia, de un gran equipo, acá salí campeón, entonces no veo por qué no aprender algunas cosas de él. Él es un jugador más defensivo que yo, lo cual algo que yo tengo que mejorar, pero es más amistad que competencia lo que tenemos. Entonces, bueno, George decide quién juega en los partidos. Muy bien, este año tenemos un equipo mucho más maduro, mucho más con conocimiento del sistema con el que queríamos jugar el año pasado. Creo que eso lo establecimos el año pasado y bueno, este año lo estamos perfeccionando un poco más, lo cual lo hemos hecho y bueno, nosotros sabemos que podemos meter goles. Los equipos saben en qué manera queremos jugar nosotros y bueno, hay que seguir trabajándolo, perfeccionándolo y seguir confiando. Veteran in the league, especially in that midfield. I played against him last year, so I kind of knew who he was and what he could do, and I knew it was going to be a physical game, and that's what it was about. So you could, if you watch it, probably. But after the game, not the result we wanted to at least tied, and just the set piece, we messed up, uh, made a little mistake, and that's what cost us the game. But we're still trusting on what we're doing. We will still possess the ball the 60% of the game or something. We had our chances, not shots on goal, but we still made chances, which is what matters. Um, but we just gotta keep trusting and keep working harder. Obviously, they have CONCACAF going on midweek, so I don't know what they'll do against us on Sunday. They might sit in the back like a 5-3-2 or something. I don't know what they'll do. But I know they'll be tired for sure against us, so we gotta take advantage of that. But it'll be another great team. But we're also at home, and we talked about that before the season. We gotta stay strong at home. It's our fortress, our castle, and we just gotta defend and take points at home.
Dani, el hecho de que Austin FC no aparece en los Power Rankings y todo eso, como que la MLS todavía no cree en el equipo. ¿Ustedes cómo ven eso?
Nada, nos motiva. No nos importa lo que haga la gente. Nosotros sabemos qué es lo que tenemos que hacer, lo que estamos trabajando día a día en los entrenamientos y eso, no importa. A mí no me importa, por lo menos. Me motiva más que me tumbe o que me ponga triste o algo. No nos importa. Como dijeron antes de la temporada comenzar, aquí vamos a quedar de últimos, de 11, de 12. Eso nos motiva y esto es lo que está haciendo. Pero bueno, hay que seguir trabajando. Quedan 30 y pico de partidos, entonces bueno. It's not relaxed, but it's knowing that we have their fans in our favor and just the whole environment around it. It makes you play amazing, which it's hard to go on the road because you don't have that. You don't have that. Not every team has that atmosphere that we have here in Austin. But uh, it's not relaxed, but it makes us play way better. I don't know why it does, but it just does it.
Head coach.
Very fit. I had some people in Virginia telling me what he was doing back in Virginia. So we all got friends everywhere, and he was doing some workouts. So we knew he was playing. We knew he was taking care of himself. But I think we knew relatively quickly that he was going to be more of a 6'8" for us, coming from college as a playmaker, more of a free role. You could, again, we took him for a reason. We saw the quality, ultimately saw the potential in what he had. Really calm, really clean with the ball. And is able to navigate pressure. And I think as center mids, you are able to break lines passing and you're able to break lines dribbling. And we've been working diligently on him with body shape, positioning to break lines passing, but his ability to break lines dribbling is exceptional, and his ability to get away from people and elude pressure is good. That doesn't mean it hasn't come with its lumps. He's given some balls away. We got caught a few times last year, and that's how you learn. And you know, that's where some of the growth is needed. Where's that risk and reward? And you know, you can't play with fire too often. So I think his best position for us is going to be the sixth. The ball winning component of being a six is where he's going to need to continue to get better. I think he's come in, he's gotten stronger. Our young guys have really taken in, you know, what Chad and what Dave are doing in the high performance with adding on some weight, adding on muscle. And you need that in the middle of our field, and what MLS is, the transitional effect that it has. You got to be able to cover ground, you got to be able to duel, and you got to be able to win balls. And, you know, Alex is a good ball winner as a six as well. And I think he's also gives us a little bit more further in the attack. So Pepe's been very solid for us at the start this year. He'll continue to get minutes, and he's got Johan Valencia right there pushing him. And the competition at each position is what makes us stronger. And you know, guys can't be afraid of that. They got to embrace their role and again, be accountable for their actions. But pleased with Danny's progress. He's still got a ways to go, but we'll keep working with him.
Yeah, I guess on the other end of that, how have you sort of managed Johan's expectations, being that Danny's been playing so well? And I mean, I talked to Davey the other day. It's hard to keep the guy out of the lineup when he's been performing the way he has.
Yeah, I think so. I think again, it's a long-term you know, ideas with guys like Johan Valencia and Ruben and Johan Romagna. And again, you got to adapt to our league. You got to adapt to the way that we play. You got to settle on and off the field. And again, I think those things for players that haven't left their country can be difficult. Ruben is someone that has played abroad, and those experiences help you. And you know, he's played at some high level, and certainly you know, he comes here and gives us a bit of leadership, as does Johan Valencia. And Johan's been great. I think he's been very receptive. We show him a lot of video. We talk, you know, really in a very detailed, specific way. And I think it's new to him. I don't think that's the way that he was delivered the game in Colombia, which isn't uncommon from what we hear from some of the South American players. But for us, it's very important: the positional element, the roles and responsibility of each player, and then my responsibility and our responsibility as a coaching staff is to make these players better, to help develop them. You know, Danny Pereira has the opportunity to play with Venezuela, and Johan Valencia has the opportunity to play with Colombia. These guys are right there knocking on the door, and that's something that we should be proud of as a club. But we should also have our players being extremely hungry. That's great opportunity, and that's what we want to continue to do, is help them develop, but put them in a space that can help Austin FC win games.
Thank you, Chris. Let's go to Roger Wallace. Roger.
Josh, you were quick to point out after each of those first two games, you know, it's one game. There are going to be bumps in the road, and then, you know, Portland happens. How do you like your team's response so far, and all the things that go with, you know, a setback?
Love our response. Love the reaction. Love the energy and the mentality in Portland. I mean, again, I mentioned that's a team that hasn't lost but maybe one game in their last 21 games. They lost in the final. So I mentioned we played two teams that, you know, were on our schedule, and we played them at home and beat them 10-1. And we were going to now play two teams that are perennial top teams in the league. And they've been in the last 6 finals of MLS. So a different type of opponent, but we respect everyone and fear no one. And that's the mentality that we went to Portland with. And we played a good game, a very responsible, mature performance. And I was quite pleased with a lot of it. The only thing lacking, and I said to our guys, was the goal. And it could have gone either way. I don't think anyone watching that with, you know, an unbiased lens would say that, you know, one team was more deserving of it than another. It was good. It was competitive. And we gave one up on a set piece, but we were certainly knocking on the door plenty. Unfortunate to not come away with it. And the guys' mentality is very good. Coming back to training, getting back to work, the intensity, you know, competitive group, responsible, mature group. And, you know, we got Seattle coming to town, and that'll be a challenge in itself, but excited by that opportunity.
Yeah. And Danny said he can't explain it, but they just, you know, play better at home, and the energy and all that. That's great. But, you know, I guess you don't want to sit there and just assume you're going to play well because you're at Q2 at the same time.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. We went on the road and performed well. And I think we had a nice responsibility going on the road, knowing what it was going to look like. But at home, we have a different energy. Our fans, you know, our supporters, that truly the heartbeat of what this club is when you come to Q2 and experience what that is. They bring us energy, and we in return put up good performances. And we have 6 of the 7 last times in our stadium. So we're going to need to lean on that and do that. Seattle's a good team. I mentioned Portland and Seattle are the best in the West. And, it's not something I say lightly. They're a team that knows how to grind. They're a team that knows how to win. When they don't perform well, they find ways to get results. There's a reason Seattle is playing in Champions League and performing well. There's a reason they're in MLS Cup finals. They're deep, they're well coached, and they're a competitive group. And we'll have our hands full here, but we'll be prepared. We'll have our strategy, and they may play with 5 in the back, which wouldn't surprise me, and as they did last year, or they may come in a 4-2-3-1. So we'll have some ideas for either of those. But regardless, when we're at home, we want to push the tempo, we want to be aggressive, and we want to score goals and put us in a space to win the game.
Thank you, Roger. Jorge, go ahead.
Hi, Josh. How are you? Sounders is going to have a very tough week. They're going to play on Thursday. I don't know why they're playing on Thursday, but 72 hours you're going to have them. Is that an advantage for you? How you will take the advantage of that?
We'll take advantage of playing at home. I expect Seattle to put a team here that's going to come in and compete. Brian Schmetzer says it every time. They put a team out to win, and they'll run the same roster. They'll run the same lineup. Probably in the Champions League as they have the last 3 or 4 games. I would expect them to make some changes, but again, we're going on a FIFA break, so he has time to rest guys after that. If they get the result or don't get the result down, in their Champions League game, he could certainly send his best 11 out here, and we'll be ready for that. We look forward to it. Challenging week for them, but these are things that they've dealt with, over many years. So again, I expect them to put out a very competent, aggressive team, and we'll be ready for them.
And another matter. What is the situation with Stroud, with Romagna and Hossen?
Well, it's a team of about 28 guys, and its competition is extremely good. And performances dictate who starts, and then obviously who makes the roster. So those guys are competing for minutes. Jared ended the year extremely well, and again, I think he's competing with position and minutes with Rodney and Ethan and John Gallagher to some degree. Johan Romagna is competing with Kip Keller and Gabrielson and certainly Julio. So it's a competitive group, and there's only so many spaces, and each and every week my decisions are based on what's best for the team, and the competition is good, and performances will indicate who starts and who makes the roster.
Before I go, this is the kind of problems you like, right? Before, instead of the 221 issues, this is the kind of problems you enjoy, I think.
Yeah, well, I think it's nice to have, depth. It's nice to have quality. It's nice to have healthy players. We faced a lot of different situations last year. It was always going to be challenging, but I think, you learn from a little bit of that, but we're really pleased with some of the additions. And again, we're looking for a good response, good reaction at home against a good opponent, again, on national TV. And, our fans, our community will be there. We will do our best as players and coaches to come out and really present ourselves in the right way and make the city proud again.
Thank you, Jorge. Chris, do you have another?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of follow up off of what Jorge was saying there. What is the what's the separation right now between Stroud and Rodney in particular? I don't know. We don't get to see training, and we've only seen Rodney a little bit, but this year. But what's the separating factor there?
I think it's pretty competitive. Again, I think you have Diego, who plays on either side, Ethan, who plays on the right side. Jared and Rodney are competing for minutes. Rodney's kicked in a couple minutes playing out left for us, which probably isn't his most optimal spot, but he deserves the opportunity. He's performed well in preseason. He's come in fit. He's come in hungry. His understanding defensively has gotten much better. And now it's just about putting together performances, and to some degree, not his own fault, is getting more opportunity, getting more minutes to really perform. But Jared's great. He works hard. He's tireless. And again, I think his progress, when I talked to Jared during the week, and certainly in the last couple of weeks, it's about his progress that he's continued to make from last year, his calmness, his decision making. So he's right there knocking on the door. These guys aren't happy. They're not happy about not making the roster. They're nor should they be. That they're competitive. They're professional athletes, and they want to play. And the way you play is coming and performing, competing and training. And then when your opportunity comes, you take it. It doesn't just escape you. So they'll all get their opportunity at some point, but we'll put together the best, starting 11 and best 20 for this game against Seattle. And we'll move on beyond that when the time comes.
Chris, do
Is
you have a follow-up?
is Danny Hostin up to full fitness at this point?
He is. Danny's put together again a couple really good weeks. We had a friendly against RGV, and Danny again is a very technical, clever, highly, for me, a good soccer IQ. Really understands his role and his positioning, and can score goals. He's been unfortunate with the injuries, and now it's about getting fit. But getting fit isn't just enough to get back on the roster. You got to get fit. You have to perform. You have to also show the durability. You got to be scoring goals. You got to be able to take the abuse throughout the week. And then again, when you do get your opportunity, which I'm sure sooner or later he will, you make the most of it. And Danny's a pro. He's he knows what this is about. He's played at high level teams, and again, I still think he's got plenty of quality and ability to score goals for us.
How does that affect, building again off of what Jorge was saying about the CCL game, how does that affect your preparation when you're not quite sure what kind of 11 Seattle is going to roll out compared to maybe preparing for a full week against Portland where you kind of had an idea?
I think for us, there's just a little bit of change in detail, but we played against the back five already. We've played against 4-3-2, 4-2-3-1s. We've played against a number of things in preseason, which has actually been really nice. We faced a few different opponents, a few different structures. So we've been able to highlight some things similar to Portland, who put a lot of numbers behind the ball, and we're very much about defending the penalty box. It becomes challenging to break down for them, and they almost had 6 at times along their back line. So these are things that we're gonna have to navigate, and we've worked on it tirelessly, and not just last year but this year, and our guys will be ready for it. And you got to be able to persevere. You got to be able to grind. You might not get the goals right away. You got to understand what Seattle's good at as well, and whether they're in a some version of a 5-4-1 or a 5-2-3, or if they're in their normal 4-2-3-1. So being prepared, but we're a good team as well. We need to know that we are strong, and when we flex our muscles and we go after people, we can create some problems as well. And it's important that our guys understand that, believe that, and are ready to go out and execute that.
Thank you, Chris. Much appreciated. Roger, go ahead.
Yeah, one more, Josh. The whole notion of Team of the Year nomination. I know your job's on the field specifically, but more attention being brought to this organization in a short time. It's got to make everybody in that building feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's from top to bottom. I've worked with a lot of these people for 6-7 years, and starting with our owner, Anthony Precourt, it's one of the more amazing, selfless individuals I've ever met. A superhuman being, and the people that he's brought along, and the people that have now been brought here from other places. It's a fantastic group, and having been the coach and been in a place with a lot of these people prior to us actually having a team, it was nice to work around these people, to see the energy, to see the amount of work and commitment and responsibility that everyone has shown to help elevate this club, not on the field only, but in the community, and certainly nationally recognized. And there's a lot of credit to be spread around the group, but starting with Anthony and Andy, our president, and certainly through all of our front office. And it's a blessing to work for these guys. It really is. And we do everything we can to make sure we reflect that, that strength that our leadership has on the field and at St. David's, but also at Q2.